we live? Are we live? Good morning. Welcome to the Semeex stand. What's up, YouTube? Thank you for joining me once again. If you're here live, we are doing this. Let me make sure that I turn the speakers down so that you guys don't hear an echo. I got a couple things that I plan to talk about, a couple things on my mind, and then we will go to the chat and see what's going on with you guys. Thanks again for being here and being with me, man, but I do want to get right into this, so let's jump right in. The first thing I want to talk about is that, man, I was thinking about this the other day, actually right after I stopped recording the last video, which I got to tell you guys, man, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching the last video, hitting the like button. I'm starting to get a lot of traction, so I do have to thank you guys, man. Thank you, Mr. Random. Thanks for Juan Evito for being here, man. So the first thing I want to tell you guys, man, is right after I recorded the last video, I was thinking about it, and the thought that popped into my mind was that just right before the Europa League final, we started hearing stories about that there was more than one list, that there was more than one list of transfers that Manchester United was going to be working on. That Ruben Amorim even said it, that we have a plan A and a plan B. We have two lists. If we get into Champions League, we have a list of transfers. If we don't get into Champions League, we have a different list of transfers. Guys, we wrapped up a deal for Cunha on day one of the transfer window, and Mbuemo, or Mbuemo, however you say his name, is someone that we're going to be wrapping up really soon. Cunha and Mbuemo. If this is list number 2, then what the hell was on list number 1? I don't think this is list number 2. I think what happened was that there was that meeting that happened in Monaco or somewhere like that with all the board members, and that Ruben Amorim was invited to. James at the Muppeteers has let us know that Ruben was very adamant at that time, and he told the board that he wants them to be a little bit more ambitious and go after better players. I think they're not going after the list number 2 players. I think they've decided that they're going to figure out a way to raise the funds to go after list number 1. And them keeping Bruno is another one of those examples, if you will. I don't think that they wanted to lose Bruno. We're going to talk a little bit about Bruno Fernandes and what he means to the team and what I think Ruben Amorim sees him as and why Ruben wants to keep him in a little bit. But really, I want to focus on this list thing right now for a couple of minutes. Hi, guys. Hey, Marcus. Thanks for being here, man. Hello, Corinthia. Corinthi? Not sure. Corinthi. What's up, man? But list number 2, if list number 2 is Cunha and Mbuemo, then what was on list number 1? Vinicius and Mbappe? Like, I don't understand. But that's why I'm telling you that I think this is list number 1. They're going after who they thought was the best for the team, not who they thought was going to be more affordable, cheaper, so they can build a squad. Now, because of that, though, because they've decided to go after list number 1 targets, we might only get 3 or 4 signings. If you really if you really think about it, we might only get 3 or 4 senior signings and then a couple of younger players, and that'll wrap it up for this season, and then we'll worry about another summer next window. But that's definitely what's going on, guys. Like, there's no way that Cunha and Mbeumo are the kind of signings you would think of as secondary options. These are top targets. These are top targets, and so far, I believe we've gotten the top targets we wanted, which is another thing I can't really say about Manchester United of the past. Listen, guys, if you've been with me for a long time, you know that I am not someone who's very, very pro like Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos and stuff like that. I've always said that I'm going to be keeping an eye on them. I don't like what they did with OGC Nice, and I don't agree with a lot of things that they've done so far. But you cannot say that they're doing a bad job this window. This is actually better than I've seen in a long time from us. We're getting our number 1 choices, even though we didn't win the Europa League, which is so strange in a way, but also awesome. Guys, thank you for being here. Aries Dusk, man, welcome to the show. JJ, thank you. I'm scared about our pivot receiving the ball under pressure, not going to lie. That's good. I hope you bring that up a little bit later when I get there. I do want to talk about that because I've been reading a lot of comments like that on my videos that we need a midfielder, we need someone that's going to get us out of pressing situations. I do have some ideas. But, guys, what do you think, man? Like, the list, Cunha, Mbuemo, these got to be top targets, and we're actually getting them down. Now, who do we think the striker top target is? This is the thing that scares me the most. I believe that we were going after Liam Delap because at the time, I think we were operating on list number 2. List number 2 being the list if we didn't win the Europa League. But I think that after that meeting in Monaco, we stopped chasing Liam Delap so strongly. I don't for 1 second believe that his choice to go to Chelsea was as easy as the press is making it out to be. Besides, I don't really trust the press when it comes to Manchester United, because they say silly things like Mbuemo wants 250K a week. Mbuemo doesn't want 250K a week. That makes absolutely no sense. You don't go from 40K a week to demanding 250K a week. He's going to get a good wage. Don't get me wrong. He'll get over 130, but he's only on 40 or 45 right now. Anyway, I don't even want to sit here and waste my breath talking about how the press manipulates things. And you're not hearing that 250K a week, by the way, from Ornstein, from Fabrizio, from someone I trust, let's say. You're hearing it from guys from TalkSport, like Alex Crook, who I don't know like how good his sources are. Sometimes he gets things right, but like really, you're hearing it from like I don't even know, but it's no one I would, not Daily Mail, like Sun Football or whatever. People like that, don't listen to that. It's absolute nonsense. It makes zero sense. So anyway, I'm done talking about that. But I don't believe that Delap just easily went, oh, I'm going to Chelsea because they have Champions League football. I think that we just stopped engaging so much after that meeting that happened, I believe, in Monaco. I think that meeting happened. God, I wish I was in that room. I wish I could have seen how Ruben Amorim, this man really does know how to articulate his words and emote. If he, the scenario I imagine in my head is Ruben Amorim coming in, filled with passion and emotion, and also data to back him up. Not just passion and emotion, but statistics and data to back him up, to let people know in that room, the board members, that this isn't going to work if we go after some of these targets on list number 2. We are lacking here and here and here. The players don't feel well about, the locker room is not in a good place. We need to show the fans, the players, and blah, 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 that we mean business this offseason. Whatever he did, he must have motivated them. He must have motivated people who are usually motivated by the bottom line, the profits, the expenses, the revenues. He must have motivated them to believe that a bigger investment this summer is the right thing to do. Bigger ambitions, bigger goals this summer is the right thing to do. If this is a man who can get billionaires to say, yeah, maybe we should spend more, then this is the exact kind of man I want in my locker room to try and pump up my players to go out and win a game that maybe we shouldn't be winning. You get what I'm saying here? Like, this is good stuff, man. This is the kind of leader you want. Now, let's move on to Bruno Fernandes, and I'm going to read some of these comments really soon. But Bruno Fernandes, guys, I've been seeing things that are really kind of confusing to me. A lot of people are saying, I wish he had been sold. I wish he had been gone. I wish we pushed him out the door and took the $100 million. Guys, I said from the beginning, I'm not bothered either way. If he would have been sold, I would have been okay with that. And if he's going to stay, I'm okay with that, because I can actually kind of see the vision here. And I know a lot of people think, and it's not your fault. It's a lot of YouTubers out there that are picking on every time he's made a mistake when he's played at center mid. You make mistakes at center. Okay. I believe the vision is that Bruno's going to play alongside a 6 in the center mid, and he's going to quarterback the team from there. I believe that if he has better people up front, like Cunha, Mbuemo. Is it Mbuemo or Mbuemo? Mbuemo 1, Mbuemo 2. Guys, put it in the comments. Is it 1 or 2? Mbuemo or Mbuemo? 1 for Mbuemo, like boom, and 2 for Mbuemo, and then I'll just stick to that. Anyway, I believe with better players like Cunha and Mbuemo, whatever, in front of him, and then hopefully a really good striker coming in, like an Osimhen or a Gyokeres, I believe that Bruno won't have to run around like a crazy man all the time. He can sit back a little bit more in that pocket and quarterback the team from there. And I really believe that you can't get a much better quarterback these days unless you can give me a Pirlo regen. We don't have a Toni Kroos. We don't have a Pirlo. And I don't even know if World Football has one of those yet. We might need a couple more years before we see another one. But Bruno Fernandes is the next best thing. I can't think of anybody else to quarterback a team with a lot of good forward options in front of him. I believe that in the last 3 seasons, he hasn't had good forward options in front of him, and he's had to do everything. Play in the back to bring the ball forward, and then play in the front to get the assist. You see what I'm like? He He should be the pass before the assist. That's what Bruno Fernandes should be. He should be the pass that gets us through to a winger or someone running that sideline who then crosses it to get the goal. Make sense? That's what I believe. That's what I think the vision is. But I also think that for that to be effective, we're probably going to need a better 6 than Casemiro or Ugarte. So going back to someone's comment earlier who said that he's scared of us being able to get out of pressure situations, I agree, and I understand that. But I also think that maybe this season, this summer transfer window may not be the summer we solve that problem. This summer transfer window may be the summer that we solve our attack. And if we're going to solve our attack, that's 2 10s, a striker, and I believe a wing-back is necessary if we're going to solve our attack. I don't think this attack gets solved just by fixing the 3 people we're talking about, the triangle, the 2 10s and the striker. That's good, but then out wide, we need more threat. We don't have enough threat. Delow's not much of a threat. Ahmad is, and I agree with a lot of people who say Ahmad is. Dorgu, I'm on the fence about it. I'm not going to say he's not. I think he's young. And I think he's only going to grow into that role and get better. But that's all we have. Ahmad, Dorgu, Delow's okay for games where we need more defensive wingbacks, but he's not doing that great going forward. To fix our attack, I think we need to bring in one more wingback who's going to help us build those chances from out wide and get the defense to spread out a little bit more, to open up more space to that for that diamond or that triangle that we're going to have in the middle with Cunha and Mbeumo. What are we going with? 2? 2 was Mbuemo. So it's Mbuemo then? We're going with Mbuemo. Okay. To fix that, to get the defense to spread out wide so that the triangle in the middle with Mbuemo, Cunha, and whoever we get, Gyokeres, Osimhen. I hope it's either Gyokeres or Osimhen, guys. I really do. I'm very nervous about that. We're going to talk about that in a little bit too because, yeah, I'm just really nervous about that. Big up the Owls, man. Thank you, Bath Time. But that's what I think we're going. That's where I think we're going, and I think you should be excited. I think you should be excited because I'm going to tell you the truth. As soon as we lost the Europa League final, I was thinking about that list number 2, and I was like, man, who's on list number 2? Are we going to like try to put Band-Aids on our problems, or are we going to actually try to solve our problems? With Cunha and Mbuemo coming in, I think we're actually trying to solve our problems. We just might not be able to solve every single problem, and that's okay. I'd much rather do that. If I had a house that was collapsing and that the bathroom needed changing, the kitchen needed changing, the bedroom needed changing, I would much rather completely fix the living room or whatever needs to be fixed and leave the bathroom broken, and I'll just use the backyard for whatever I need to do. And then next year when I have more money to fix the bathroom the right way, instead of patching the bathroom a little bit, patching the living room a little bit and going again, and still being embarrassed to live there. At least this way, I can invite people and have dinner in the living room, just not let them use the bathroom. I'll be like, oh, you got to go to the backyard for the bathroom. All right, let me read some of these comments, man. Sorry if I missed your comment. I'm trying to get better at when I go live to make sure that I'm talking a lot so that I'm not just reading comments the whole time. Thank you for being here. I think they told Liam Delap he'd be a backup and they were buying him because of the release clause. I agree. Marcus, Brand was there well before Sir Alex, Mr. Random. Oh, are we talking about the Manchester United brand? Guys, that's the other thing. Why are rival fans like surprised that people want to sign for us? That makes absolutely zero sense. Manchester United, listen, I think that in England, maybe, okay, I might be wrong. There's people probably from England here in the chat. But I think that in England, sometimes people don't realize how big Manchester United is because you're in your bubble, in your own country, and only in your own country, and you find out that, Manchester United finished 15th, and everyone else in the country is poking at them and making fun of Manchester United, going like, oh my God, you guys were in a relegation battle or whatever, which we never were in. And what I'm hearing people on like the overlaps ask questions like, what if Manchester United's in a relegation battle next season? We are not going to be in a relegation battle next season. Are you absolutely out of your mind? Like, we are not going to be in our worst team, which was this last season, was not in a relegation battle. Do you understand? Like, there was no fear of relegation with like 10 games left. We are not going to be in a relegation battle. And for, again, I think it's because in England, you're surrounded by a lot of people who hate Manchester United because of their childhoods being ruined or their parents' childhoods being ruined. And because of that, as soon as we have a bad season, everyone's poking at us and everyone is making fun of us and everything else. And what do you call it? And then they just go, oh yeah, Manchester United is not a big team anymore. Outside of your little country, and then compared to the big planet, your country is little. Every country is almost little compared to the big planet. Outside of your little country, Manchester United still holds a lot of weight. A lot of weight. The only other team you can compare us to is Real Madrid and maybe Barcelona. That's it. You can't compare us to anybody else. So when people go, I can't believe that person decided to go to Manchester United instead of Newcastle, it's like, Newcastle? You're comparing us to Newcastle? You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. We're not even in the same, even in the same vicinity. Newcastle can win the Premier League next year, and we can finish 15th again, and Newcastle will still be nowhere near as big as Manchester United as a brand globally. Nowhere near. And these guys who are playing, who are choosing what team to go to, when they were 12 years old and they used to watch football on TV, and if they happen to be watching Premier League football, they were watching an amazing Manchester United. They grew up with Manchester United in front of their eyes playing amazing football. That's what they remember. That's what they see. And that's what they think about. And by the way, winning... listen to what I'm about to say, because this is serious. Newcastle, maybe not Newcastle, Spurs, who have never won anything major, going there and becoming their star striker and winning a Premier League title with Spurs, which will never happen, but winning a Premier League title with Spurs, being their star striker, is not going to mean as much as coming to Manchester United, being our star striker and getting us back up to the top. As your reputation as a player and your stock as a brand will rise can you imagine what's going to happen when we finally win another Premier League title and the players that were involved in making that happen? Can you imagine what's going to happen to those players globally? Not just in England, globally. Can you imagine what's going to... I'd be sitting there... All I need to do is sit down, have a meeting with the manager of the team, Ruben Amorim, find out what the plan is from him and the sporting director, Jason Wilcox. Is there a chance that we're actually going to make a run for the title in the next 3 seasons? I know that next season is going to be a rebuild season. That's fine. But within the next 3 seasons, are we going to make a run at the title for real? And if I'm convinced that we are, I'd much rather take that opportunity, because if it happens... I'm a legend. They will build a statue for me. I am a legend, and a Manchester United legend is worth 100 times more than a Spurs legend. Do you understand? This is what we're talking about here. Can you imagine Real Madrid not winning a title for as long as we haven't, and then their stars, they sign 3 players, and then they go on and win the title? What would happen to those guys? They would become Real Madrid legends. That's kind of what I'm telling you. That's all you can compare us to. Is those kind of scenarios. Don't compare us to Newcastle and Spurs. Oh, and Mbuemo didn't want to go to Newcastle or Spurs. He chose... Yeah, for sure. Yes. That should happen. He would be out of his mind to go somewhere else. Do you understand? That's where I'm at with that. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. These people think they're on the same level. And I guess they have to, right? Because you can't just sit at home and go, oh, well, as soon as Manchester United's in for a player that we're in for, we're not going to get him. Because that would be pretty depressing. At that point, why are you even reading the news, right? Because you're just nothing good's going to happen. If our name's involved, nothing's good going to... I hate to be this harsh, but it's true. Oh, man, I missed a lot of chats. Thank you, guys. Thank you for being here. I'd probably rather live and work in Newcastle than Manchester, personally. Yeah, I don't think that's how it works, dude. I don't think... You see... When you think about I'd probably rather live and work in Newcastle, you're thinking about a career that's going to last 15, 20 years. These guys' careers last 5 years at a team, and then they usually move on. It's not that often that a player of that kind of caliber stays with a team for more than 5 years, especially at the age of 26 when Cunha's coming, at the age of Mbuemo when Mbuemo's coming. These aren't 18 and 19-year-old kids that have a chance of being with us for a decade. These are 26 and 27 or 25-year-old guys who are going to be here for 5 years, maybe 6 at the most. You know what I'm saying? So they're not thinking like that deep as someone who's like, oh, well, if I'm going to take a job, I might be there for 20 years before I retire. They're not thinking it that deep. Plus, when you say I'd rather live and work in Newcastle, they're not going to live at the same means as you are. These guys are going to have mansions in Manchester. It doesn't really matter how much it's raining outside. It's like a freaking kingdom and paradise inside their house, man. They got everything they need. They got everything they need. They don't go through the problems we go through. You know what I mean? We still hold a lot of weight in England. The only team that gets talked about daily. Yeah, no. You're right there, man. And we get lied about daily too. Go to anywhere in China and say Manchester, the answer will be Manchester United. If you say Liverpool, they say the Beatles. Nice. Newcastle can't spend any money still. Imagine that. The richest club in UK. MUFC fans need to stop crying. Okay. Marcus, Bruno, not a legend. But that changes if he wins the Premier League. Dude, if Bruno wins the Premier League, I'm telling you, he will get a statue at some point. He will get a statue. The guy turned down, what is it somebody was saying, like 2,700 pounds a minute for the next 4 years? Yeah, he will get a statue. I think Bruno deserves a lot more respect. And I'm telling you guys, man, like, a lot of people hate Bruno, and I get it. It's because you see the mistakes. I'm telling you, those mistakes are happening because the team is not good. The team is not good. How do you quarterback? Put Tom Brady on a bad team and ask him to quarterback that team and tell me what happens. Tom Brady went to Tampa. He needed to get a wide receiver and a tight. Well, let's not talk about American football. But anyway, let's just say Tampa had to give him a couple more signings so they can actually help him attack. That's why, by the way, also, I think Cunha and Mbuemo are not enough. We need that striker. It needs to be solved. And then hopefully we can find some money for a wing back because we need a little bit more threat from out wide. Ahmad can't be the only threat from out wide, and then possibly Dorgu. But Dorgu, like I said, he might need another season to acclimate. I don't know. I don't know about how that's going to work out. But we need a striker for sure, and it cannot be a project. I think that's why you're hearing a lot of news about Osimhen, and you're hearing a lot about Gyokeres. And because, okay, let's think about this. If Osimhen was going to Saudi Arabia does not move slow. They don't move slow. They want to, operate in the Club World Cup. But I don't know if the team that's going after Osimhen is actually a part of the Club World Cup. So I'm not sure about that. But regardless, they don't move slow. They want to know what's going to happen as soon as possible so they can move on to their next target if Osimhen says, no, he's not going. Why is the Osimhen decision being delayed? Why is Gyokeres not a part of, like, big stories that, oh, he's close to signing for Arsenal or whatever it is? It's always these little stories, and it's very quiet. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not saying that we're talking about... I think we are kind of talking to both of them. I would love to know. I'm dying to know. But I think you're not going to hear anything until we get some sales because once this Mbuemo deal is wrapped up, I don't think we can make another deal until a sale happens, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too, man. Who's your ideal pivot partner in all of world football for Bruno? Oh, someone with a lot of legs and that can carry the ball. Someone with a lot of... If Ugarte could carry the ball forward and look a little bit more forward instead of sideways and backwards, he would have been it, right? But I'd also would like it to be a taller guy. I'd like it to be somebody who can also help us on set pieces in the box. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I want to say Ederson, but I don't think we're going to get Ederson. As soon as Saudi got involved in the kind of money they're going to offer Ederson, like, he's not on the table anymore. I liked Stiller from the Bundesliga, although he's not that tall, but he's a fierce competitor. It's got to be someone with that kind of heart to battle. And also be able to look forward. Ugarte has the heart to battle, but he doesn't look forward. He doesn't carry the ball that well. I don't trust him when he has the ball at his feet under pressure. I don't know. Good question, though. Semeex, don't think we get all the pieces of puzzle now, especially that striker position. We should get a new goalkeeper. Physically big midfielder and Theo Hernandez. Theo Hernandez would be amazing. He just turned down Saudi Arabia today. It was out in the news today. Theo Hernandez has turned down Saudi Arabia. He's only $30 million. The problem is his age profile is definitely not something our guys are going to be interested in. I don't know if we'll go after him because of his age. And he would be great, but he would only be great for maybe 2 or 3 more seasons. And I don't know if they want to do that. I don't know if they want to go that old. But $30 million for his output might be worth it for 3 seasons. If you're getting his output for $10 million a season for 3 seasons, not bad. Not bad. Bruno never getting a statue since 1878. What happened? Since 18, we've only had 3 statues made of players. He'll get a statue in my heart. Let's put it that way. If we win the Premier League, Bruno's getting a place in my heart forever. I am late to the conversation. Art, you shouldn't have been late, buddy. That's on you. Osimhen greater than Gyokeres. That's a good topic. I like that. Is Osimhen better fit than Gyokeres? I am very split on that, and I'll tell you why. Osimhen, very good, fast, great in the air. Really good in the air compared to Gyokeres. Much better in the air compared to Gyokeres. But Gyokeres' discipline and movement is better than Osimhen's. I'm happy with either one. Osimhen would help us a lot more physically than Gyokeres does, especially in the air and those type of situations. But Gyokeres is not going to need any like... Gyokeres is going to help the coach because he knows where everyone's supposed to be and he knows what his movement's supposed to be in every situation. So he's going to be able to help Cunha and Mbuemo understand where they're supposed to be in certain situations, which makes the coach's job easier. So I'm happy either way. Smash a like, folks. Thank you, Marcus. 400K salary a week is wild. Who's on 400K salary a week, dude? When we get Gyokeres, is that the best front 3 in the Premier League on paper? Having a week to train, how long before we really see them gel and can judge if it's working? Somebody asked me that question yesterday. It was either yesterday or the day before. Somebody asked me the question of, like, how long do we need to wait before we can judge Ruben Amorim next season? And I said I would like to break it down into 2 phases. I would like a 10-game phase 1 and a 10-game phase 2. In phase 1, I'm going to judge it based on the system and if the players are starting to adapt to the system. I'm not going to judge it based on goals. I'm not going to judge it based on wins. I'm going to judge it based on system and if the players are starting to adapt to the system. And obviously, by the time we get to game 7, 8, 9, and 10, I would like to start seeing some goals and some wins. But if we lose games 1, 2, 3, and 4, as long as we're trying to run the system, and by the time we get to like games 4, 5, and 6, and 7, the players are starting to get the patterns better and the movements better, and we're getting closer to scoring more goals and stuff like that. And then 8, 9, 10, we start winning. That's a successful phase 1. Phase 2 is now I got to judge it on how did we win almost all the 10 games of phase 2. It's okay if you get 1 or 2 losses in there, but did we win 7 or 8 out of those 10 games in phase 2? That's how I would judge it. Make sense? Like, you got to break it up into 2 phases. Give them 10 games, 10 weeks to get the system into the players' heads, to get them moving in the right directions. And then the next 10 games, it's all about performance. And that would bring us somewhere next to November, December of the year. And you can decide whether or not you want to let the manager go. I hope it works out. I want this manager to work out. I actually like this manager a lot. But that's how I would judge it. Notice that Arsenal are not linked with Gyokeres anymore. Is that true, though, dude? Elite Baller, man. I've been reading a lot about Arsenal being linked with Gyokeres, man. Is that even true? How come the Šeško talk has gone away? That's what worries me. Look, I'm the one... I shouldn't say that, but I said this last week. I think that Amorim and Gyokeres have some sort of agreement. After he came back from the Monaco meeting, before the window opened, I think he contacted Gyokeres. I think he let Gyokeres know that I got the green light. We're coming for you. That's when the Lap chose to go to Chelsea after that. I don't think the Lap told us no first. I think we had that meeting and decided we're not going to go after list 2. We're going to go after list 1. And I think he told I think he told Gyokeres that, like, I got the green light from the board. We're coming for you. I just need you to sit back and relax. We need to wrap up a couple of deals first, and then we're going to raise some funds, and then we're coming for you. And that may be why Gyokeres is so quiet. That may be why. And he might have a little bit of a niggling injury, and that's another reason why he's not with the national team, and that helps him do a couple of things. If he's not with the national team, he can rest and get better from his injury, but also he doesn't have to be in front of the media and the press to answer questions. That is my, hope. That's my dream. That's just me talking. But on the other side of things, dude, did you see that post that guy, some YouTuber posted, or some YouTuber on a channel said, not posted, said, I'm talking to you guys right now. He said that his friend ran into the sporting director of Arsenal at a bar, and he had a photo of his friend with, I forgot the guy's name, the sporting director's name. It's a little different. But and then he asked him, who are we getting? And the sporting director goes, who do you want? And he goes, I heard we're getting Šeško. And the sporting director goes, no. And then the guy goes, but who are we getting? And the sporting director says, who do you want? And the guy said, Gyokeres. And then the sporting director fist bumped him and said, you got him. I don't know if that's a true story or not, but that pissed me off. Just watching that pissed me off. And I was like, oh my God. First of all, how is this happening? Why would a sporting director be at some pub? But there was a photo of him at the pub. So I don't want to sit here and spread rumors, by the way, because I really don't want this to be true. So I don't care. But stuff like that scares me, man. I got to tell you, this position to me is so vital. This position is so it has to be. I hope it has to be either Osimhen or Gyokeres. To me, if it's not one of them, then it's something we're gonna have to revisit in a season or two. I really believe that. I don't think anybody else kind of fits. Oh, and if it's Mitrovic, oh my God. If it's Mitrovic, guys, you're not going to like me. I'm going to make YouTube videos cussing out Sir Jim Ratcliffe. I'm going to be so rude to Sir Jim Ratcliffe if we end up with Mitrovic after the summer ends. You're not going to like me, so it better not be Mitrovic. But it should be Gyokeres or Osimhen. We need to find the money. I don't know how we're going to find the money, but I do have some ideas, and let's get right into those now. Let's talk about... By the way, I'm not good at this streaming stuff, so when you see this window, if it looks funny to you, just excuse it, okay? I'm trying here. But I wanted to bring this up here, and we're going to talk about players one by one. So let's start with this man. I already said it in my last video. This man is making it hard. This man is a good player. I am not here to bash his technical ability. This man on his day, when he decides to play good, is really up there as a winger. He's really up there. He's probably top 10 in the world. You got to give him that. You got to give him top 10. I'm not saying he's the best. I'm not saying he's second best. But he's top 10 in the world when he's on, when he's at his best. I'm talking about Marcus Rashford at his best. At his best, he's top 10 in the world. At his best, I believe he would be a starter for Barcelona and he would bench Rafinha. And I know some of you guys are going to think I'm crazy, and I already said this before. But that doesn't matter. That's not what we're here to discuss. If he's better than Rafinha or not is not what we're here to discuss. Don't put it in the chat, please. What I'm here to discuss is his wage demands and his refusal to go anywhere else but Barcelona. That kills us. That literally shoots us in the foot. This man is killing a lot of our summer, because now what he's doing is look, Barcelona's already arrogant. They're an arrogant team to negotiate with. You've seen what they've done with us with Frankie de Jong in the past, and what they do to their own players by refusing to pay them for long periods of time, or amortizing their salaries, which is unheard of in any other club, unless that club is actually about to go bankrupt. Not a big club. Big clubs don't amortize wages. They're arrogant, and they're entitled. They're pretentious. They think we're Barcelona. Blah blah blah. I get it. You're a great club in a great city where the weather's perfect and everybody would love to live there. I get it. And you have a great academy. But pay up. You want the player, pay up. But the problem is, if the player is saying, I'm not going anywhere but here, then we're dead. I was about to curse. We're not in a good place. For me, I would get on the phone with Barcelona if I'm Jason Wilcox or whoever is negotiating. I forgot his name. And I would be like, man, I don't care what you have to do. Pull a lever, whatever you have to do, and pay up and get the player. That's the only way you're getting the player. Pull a lever, pay up. No loan. And if he doesn't want to go anywhere else, and here's why he's not going to go anywhere else. He's got his brother for a manager who's not a good manager, because a good manager A good agent would sit the player down and talk to him, knock some sense into him, and go, hey, man, like, this is your career. You only get one career. There's a World Cup next year. These people are not going to pay for you. They're only going to ask for a loan, and your club is not going to let you go. Are you really willing to sit for a year when you only probably have another 4 or 5 or 6 good years left in this career? Are you going to waste one of them? Because you've already wasted 2. The last 2 seasons for Marcus Rashford were not good. He's already wasted 2 seasons as far as I'm concerned. And really, some people can say he's wasted other seasons in the past too. He just doesn't have a good agent. And B, dude, he let everybody, no one else is going to come in for him because he let everybody know all he wants to do is go to Barcelona. So other teams that might have been interested in him are going to be like, well, why am I going to go talk to him? He doesn't want to come to us. Because he could have been in Juventus. There's a lot of teams that would love a Marcus Rashford. And he basically closed the door on them because he made it public that he wanted to go to Barcelona, who's not even willing. You don't make that kind of thing public until you know that the team's going to pay for you and get you. It was just an idiot move. Out of a lot of idiot moves. Let's get to some comments. What are we talking about? Made it to a live. Hey, Ben, what's up, man? Missed tons, though, so I'll watch back later. I hope you do. I'm trying to get better at doing lives so that in the past I would just read comments and answer the comments, and then I found that it was, when I go back and watch my own videos, I found that it was really hard to watch. So now I'm doing it like I do my pre-recorded videos. I've got my outline here ready for things that I want to talk about, and I just rapid fire and talk about them, and then I'll look at the comments. And I think this is playing out a little bit better for people who are going to watch later. Big shout out to you, Semeex. Thank you very much, man. Need to be very lucky with the, what? Conical 3 return? Don't know what that means. My left ear is enjoying this very much. All right, dude. Nice. Why? Am I only on the left side? Oh, I am only on the left side. I'm going to go back to this view, even though I had more photos of others, guys, just because I don't know why it was only coming out of the left side. So sorry about that. I will just stay in this view. I had other photos and other stuff. Let's do it right so you guys can hear me. Who cares about the photos? You can just watch me like this. Sorry. And thank you, Ruben, for letting me know that, man. I did not know. But it was only, for some reason, that other view was only coming out the left side. Who else? Antony. Antony's a good player, and Antony's going to have some people who want to buy him. But I think the Antony deal might take a little bit longer because I think that there are options there. And he has to assess his options, and it's totally understandable. I actually don't blame him for that. He's with the Brazil squad right now, but I think he has options from Italy. I think he has options from Spain. So I think that the Antony deal is going to happen, but it's probably not going to happen in this first window, if you will. I don't think it happens by June 10th. I think it happens in the second window, which I believe is 2 weeks after June 10th. I might be wrong. It might only be a week after. But yeah, the second window. Semeex, Gyokeres over Osimhen. Don't need another 26-year-old to coach afresh. But if we miss out on those two, what's plan B? I don't know. That's what scares the pants off of me. I think plan B is Mateta, but I don't think Mateta's doable. I don't think everybody keeps talking about Mateta and a bunch of YouTube videos I watch, and I just keep thinking, like, I don't think Crystal Palace is selling anybody important before their first European campaign. I just don't see it. That just makes zero sense to me. They're going to want to talk to their players. They're going to want to say, like, hey, every one of you is going to stay at least one more year, and then we'll talk about sales next summer. But we're going to keep this core group together as a reward to the manager and as a reward to the fans because we're in Europe. We're going to add to the core group and see what we can do in Europe next season. And that would be the right thing to do by the owners. So I can't even blame them for doing that. That's not playing hardball. And if you want one of our players, if I was a Crystal Palace owner, if I would say, if you want one of my players, you're going to play way over the odds because I don't want to sell them. So you're going to pay me at least $20 million more than you would pay me next season. If you want him now, you're paying me $20 million more than you would pay me next season because I want you to walk away. I don't want you to actually pay it. I want you to walk away. But if you pay me $20 million more, I'll give it to you. So I don't think Mateta happens, guys. It doesn't make sense as Crystal Palace owner to let him go. You can let him go next summer and get the same thing you would have got this summer. And you make some more Europe. I think you finish better in Europe if you keep him. And you make more money that way. We should be looking at Wissa, proven goal scorer. Actually, not a bad shout. I just don't like his stature, if you will. Like, I don't like his size. Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe I'm being a little biased, but I don't think Wissa is strong enough for me. I think he's fast and he gets behind defenders, but we need someone for the low block. And I don't know if Wissa's that. The thing about our squad, the thing about us is, again, we're not a small team. We're a big team. So as a big team, we're going to go up against a lot of teams that are going to press us. And we're going to go up against a lot of teams that are going to sit back and play in a low block. We have to get our position filled with players who can handle both situations. The pressing situation is the harder one to handle. So you definitely want to, and I said this in my video 2 videos ago when we were talking about data-driven recruitment. You have to recruit based on people who can play well under pressure. That's the priority number 1. Once they pass that test, now you start looking at, okay, and what can they add to the team when we're not under pressure? And then you try to get as good of players as you can that can definitely play under pressure, but can also help a little bit when we're not under pressure against low blocking teams. What's going on here? What are your thoughts on Goncalo Ramos as a striker? Actually, not a bad shout, man. Good job. Bryan, I forgot about that. Goncalo Ramos as a plan B, if we don't get Osimhen and Gyokeres, is not a bad shout. But again, I just don't think he has it to be our number 1 long term. Goncalo Ramos to me is an awesome number 2. Awesome backup, which I'm hoping that's what Cheeto becomes for the next 2 or 3 years. And then Cheeto maybe can start leading the line after 3 seasons when he gets older and bigger. But Goncalo Ramos is not a bad shout. He's a smart player, good movement, good use of his body, but he's not a clinical like finisher, deadly striker. He's just not that. But a very, very respectable player. I like him. Antony could be an alternative for Conceição at Juventus. That's true. I'd rather go for Ramos at PSG. Yep. Yeah, I totally understand that. Theo Hernandez is 27. Is he? I thought he was 30. Why would I think Theo Hernandez was 29 going to turn 30 next season? If he's 27 for 30 million, we should be going in for him, man. For 30 million euros and 27 years old, we should be going in for him. That's 4 good years. Because I think, don't get me wrong, he plays a tough position for an aging player. Like, playing as a wingback at 33 years old is not easy. So I think we'll get 4 good years out of him. He could do it till he's about 31, 32, and then we need a backup. We need someone else, which we would have by then. I mean, we got Diego Leon coming in. He's going to be playing with the academy for a couple of seasons, maybe go out on loan. If we get a Theo Hernandez, and we have Theo Hernandez and Dorgu behind him, then we could put Leon out on loan not next season. Next season he plays for the academy. Following season, loan him out. We need someone bigger as a lone center forward. Yes. What if we can make it work with Rashford? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. There's not enough chains in Manchester to keep him happy. Damn, I shouldn't have said that. Tell us about Ahmad. Will it be shadowed again? Will he be shadowed again? I don't understand the question. I'm sorry. Tell us about Ahmad. Will he be shadowed again? Shadowed. I'm not sure what that means. I'm so sorry, man. Smash the like button. Thank you, Aries. Yes, please smash the like button if you're here. We got 716 viewers, and I don't know how many likes. Please smash the like button. Composed view, Ramos is a good alternative. Yes, he is a good alternative. I like Ramos. Okay, Jadon Sancho. Let's talk about Jadon Sancho, man. Jadon Sancho's getting some looks-ins from Saudi. That is great news. That is fantastic news. Will he be willing to go? Maybe. Maybe, because, I mean, the chain collection you can get by moving to Saudi is insane. You get all the chains, all the kicks, you get all the cars. You get it all, man. All you got to do is be willing to... Jadon, if you're watching this, man, I know you're looking at Rashford and thinking, man, damn, I want those chains. Go to Saudi, bro. Go to Saudi. You get all the chains. All of them. Go. Please. Say yes. And go. Get out. Go away. But I hope Jadon Sancho leaves as soon as possible. That's one that should be done quickly. He's not going to play for the national team. It should be done quickly. We should wrap up a deal. All we need is for him to say yes. So hopefully Jadon Sancho will be done quickly. Man, can you imagine Jadon Sancho showing up for a preseason tour? I will. No. Rashford, I feel the same way, guys. I don't want him showing up for the preseason tour, but that one we almost have to like accommodate just to show Barcelona that even if we're not going to give him to you on loan. We'd rather have him here on our preseason tour than give him to you on loan. I hope that's what we do. I hope we don't get desperate for money and give Barcelona a loan Rashford with an option, not even an obligation. No. Cars, that'll be Sancho. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Okay, what else? Let me see. Let me see what I got here. Menu, guys. Let's talk about Garnacho first, and then we're going to get to Menu. Garnacho is also somebody that I think is going to be very, very easy to sell, that I think a lot of people are going to be interested in, but it's going to take a little bit of time because I think he needs to weigh his options. I think Chelsea will come in for Garnacho. Why wouldn't they? I think he's Premier League proven, and I know some of you guys are going to know if he's Premier League proven, then why aren't we keeping him? Not proven to play in this system that we play. Okay, he was proven in the Erik ten Hag system, which is much more like what Chelsea would use him as. I think that also he would be amazing in the Spanish league. I think he'd be really good in Italy. I think that there's a lot of teams that are going to be looking at him, teams we haven't even heard of yet, who must have had conversations with his agent, just didn't really dive in deep yet. But I think that he's going to sit there, weigh up his options, figure out what he's going to want in wage demands, and figure out what he's going to be able to get and where does he want to actually play and live. Because I think his next move is somewhere he's going to end up at for a very long time. I think his next move is at least going to last 4 or 5 years before he moves, because he's not moving to a small club. I think he's moving to a big club, like, clubs that don't need to sell, like Chelsea, Napoli, Juventus, something like that. Even Atletico Madrid, a club that's not, doesn't need to sell. So whatever he decides to do, I totally understand if he's going to take his time, because like I said, he's going to be there a while. So I don't think that's something we can wrap up pretty quickly. Now, that brings me to Menu. Guys, let's think about the kinds of things we want to do. We want to get a Gyokeres or Osimhen, and we want to get a wing back, hopefully. If we're going to do these things, we're going to need another 150 million euros or pounds or what. I think euros is enough, though. For 150 million euros, we can get a goalkeeper, which we definitely need. Not a great one, but a good one. A Victor Osimhen or a Gyokeres, and a wing back. Those are 3 things we definitely need. Some of you guys are going to say we also need a center mid, and you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I'm just thinking about the needs. Now, we might go for a center mid instead of a goalkeeper and say, screw it, we'll wait for a goalkeeper, we'll do it next summer. Or we might do both, but if we're doing both, then we're going to need 170 million euros in sales. Because I really think that anywhere between 150 and 170 million euros, or else we're not going to do much more. We're only going to do 1 more player or 2 more players. How are we going to raise that if Rashford's not willing to go to Barcelona? Because his wages are crazy. Some people think we're going to, Casemiro's trying to get pushed out or sold. I don't think Casemiro goes anywhere. I just don't think that he's got 1 more year left on his contract, and he's a free agent. I think he plays out that year respectably and then goes as a free agent and earns money somewhere else. Tactical Devils, hey man, how are you, dude? Thank you for coming. On the strikers, what about Jonathan Burkhardt and Mons, 20 million release clause? I don't know who that is, so I don't watch Bundesliga. I just don't. I'm not interested in the Bundesliga as much as I am in La Liga, and sometimes I'll even watch Italy. I watch AC Milan games because I like AC Milan. So I watch those because I like AC Milan. I end up watching AC Milan games, and I get to see other Italian teams. I don't like any teams in the Bundesliga. I don't even I hate to say this, man, but I don't respect that competition because Bayern Munich win it every freaking year, except for that 1 year when Xabi Alonso and Leverkusen had that great run. And because of that great run, I ended up watching about half a dozen Leverkusen games because I wanted to see what is it that Xavi's doing that is getting all those wins. But that was it. Like, other than those 6 or 7 games that I watched them play, I haven't watched Bundesliga in years. Because that's like watching a big guy beat up a little guy. It's like, why am I watching this? Bayern Munich's going to win every year. At least in La Liga, Atletico Madrid has a chance, Barcelona, and Real Madrid. At least there's 3 teams fighting for it. Whereas in Bundesliga, I just feel like it's 1 team, and that's it. It's just not fair. I don't watch it. So that's why I don't know him. Thank you, Jarvis, for the question. I don't know the guy, though. Branthwaite, Young CB. We don't need a center back this summer, guys. I don't think a center back's happening this summer. If you really deep it, if you really think about it, we have plenty of players that can play in the center back position. That doesn't mean they're amazing. That's not what I said. But we have plenty of center backs. We have plenty of center backs or players who play there, like Luke Shaw even, who I don't want, but he does play there. Mazraoui, who also plays there. We have plenty of people at center back. We have limited funds. We're not going to spend money on center back this offseason. I just don't see it. It doesn't make sense to me. Unless it's a center back coming in because of a agreement with Barcelona where we go, it's not going to be a loan. You take Rashford, we get Araujo. Or, you know what I mean? Something like that. And then we end up with a center back because of a deal like that. I understand that. But I don't think we'll spend money like cash on a center back. It just doesn't make sense. Would you take Oblak? He wants to leave. Yes, I would take Oblak in a heartbeat. Oblak, that experience and the saves he made, that guy's a giant. Van der Sar vibes. Yeah, I would take Oblak. And I would give Rashford, I said it in the video, didn't I? I think I would give Rashford for Ter Stegen at Barcelona. Our goalkeepers are so bad, man. I would take anybody with I would take young me. If Rashford comes to Saudi, I'll personally buy him an Allah chain. Are you from Saudi, man? Marhaba. Are you from Saudi? Or did you mean if Rashford goes to Saudi? Because when you say comes to Saudi, it sounds like you're there. You don't like the Bundesliga, great players in Germany. It's not about the players. It's about the competition. Like I said, I'm not going to watch Mike Tyson, who's in his prime, great boxer, beat up some little skinny kid. There's no competition there. I like there's so much stuff to watch. Guys, I have an account with Fanatis where I can watch Portuguese games, Argentinian games, and Brazilian games. I'd rather watch that. And I do. I'd rather watch Botafogo play against Flamengo in the Brazilian league with my time with the spare time that I have to watch a game than I would want to watch a German game. Because then there's competition I'm watching, and also I'm discovering players I wouldn't otherwise discover, like Wesley, who's actually a really good right back in the Brazilian league. Is there anyone here in the chat who follows the Bundesliga and knows about it? I'm going to look him up now, Jar. Not now, but I'm going to look him up sometime this weekend and see what I can find and see what I see. Delo has been decent at right wing back. No, I'm sorry, KF, man. I hate to disagree with people who are here watching, but Delo has not been decent at right wing back. Oh, wait, sorry. I just read the rest of your comment. If we are signing another wing back, I think we got to sell him. Yes, I agree. If we do sign another wing back, then we could probably raise some money by selling Delo. Yes, KF, sorry, man. I spoke too soon. I should have read the whole comment. He's been decent at fullback is what I would have said, and easier to sell as a fullback. I don't think anybody would buy Delo that has a wingback system, if that makes sense. Semeex, Semenyo is off the menu. Good. Great. Fantastic. I only like Semenyo's carrying ability, but dude, that's a player that would have drove me nuts. And I'll tell you why. He takes about 20 shots a game and may or may not make one. He takes so many shots a game, and some of them are not even close to target, and that kind of thing drives me nuts. Some of you guys know what I do for a living. When I'm coaching, I tell, like, if I see players try something that's hard to execute and they don't even come close to executing, I get angry. I'm like, why are you doing the odds of you executing that is really, really high. Why are you doing it? Is it desperation? Are we running out of time? If it's not desperation, it's in the middle of the game and you have all the time in the world and you do that, it's annoying. It's really annoying. Sorloth is decent, but isn't Sorloth old, guys? I don't know. Somebody tell me. Dalot is all profit. Yes, I would sell Dalot, to be honest with you. If we got a wing back, I would sell Dalot. Because at that point, we'd have Ahmad, we'd have Dorgu who can play on both sides, we'd have the brand new wing back, and we would need one more. Who am I missing? I guess Mazraoui could play as wing back in a pinch. And also, we're only going to have one game a week. Estupinan, please bring him. JJ, thoughts on Estupinan? Yes, please bring Estupinan. He's not fantastic. He's not Theo Hernandez. So let's be real. He's not Theo Hernandez. But he's much better than any other wingback we have. He will be the best wingback we have at our club, and he's good, and he'll be good for years to come. So like he would be. Wally, what's up, man? I think Mateta is a perfect number 9 for our system. I think you're late to the show. Hi. We talked about Mateta already. And I don't think that Crystal Palace will be selling any of their big-name players this summer unless we overpay by about $20 million. I don't think Crystal Palace needs to sell because they're in Europe. They will keep that core group together and see what they can do with Europe. And Mbuemo can play as a wingback, Ruben says. Actually, interesting thought. Because he is someone who runs a lot. Like his stamina can handle it. He's fierce on defense. I mean, he puts in a tackle. He likes to get stuck in. I don't know if I would do that to him, though. But, yeah, he could totally do it in a pinch. Like, if someone's injured and we need someone to fill in, and Mbuemo could do it in a pinch. So we should just – so Ruben basically just convinced me we should sell Dalot. Good job, Ruben. So anybody who doesn't want to sell Dalot, blame Ruben, not me. Nelson Semedo's free, yes. But I think Nelson Semedo's decided he wants to go back to Portugal. From what I heard from a couple of viewers of mine who are Portuguese said that Nelson Semedo is going to go to Benfica. In Portugal. I believe they said Benfica, but they definitely said a team in Portugal. I just can't remember which team. So I don't think Nelson Semedo's on the table. Watching delayed, I love your Gyokeres theory. Thank you, man. It's a dream, right? It's my dream. I think that how can Ruben not call him? Think about what Ruben's done with Bruno Fernandes just lately. We've heard a lot of stories. He's been contacting Bruno Fernandes on a daily basis, probably contacting Bruno Fernandes on a daily basis, which, by the way, we should all be thanking Bruno for putting the pressure on the team for making signings like Cunha and Mbuemo very early in the window. Because I think Bruno had a time limit. He had to tell the Saudis if he's going or not, and he probably told upper management and the board that if you guys aren't going to strengthen this team and I have to make a decision by next week, I might go to Saudi. And I think that put pressure on the board, along with Ruben going to that Monaco meeting, because Bruno's been talking to the Saudis for over 2 months, guys. Since before, like a month at least, since before the Europa League final. So when Ruben went to that meeting at Monaco, he told them, I don't want to, not only do I not want to sign players from list number 2, because we should be more ambitious and get better players in because our team is that far behind. But I also don't want to lose the good players we have, like a Bruno Fernandes, because he can really help me if he stays and quarterbacks this team that we're trying to build. And I think pressure from Ruben, pressure from Bruno. You can't deny that these two deals that we're making with Cunha and Mbuemo aren't happening very, very fast. And this is coming from a guy who actually tweeted, I still feel like we're moving slow. And then the very next day, we announced that Ornstein drops a bomb about Mbuemo, and I'm like, okay, never mind, we're not moving slow. So yeah, man, like I'm excited, but I'm very cautious because we need a sale, guys, and that's why it's so much more fun to talk about new signings. It's so much more fun to sit here and talk about Gyokeres, Osimhen, Mateta, who else can we get? A midfielder. But I'm telling you right now, nothing's going to happen until we sell. We're done. We're done with the buy. Mbuemo, Cunha, that's it. We got to sell. That's what has to happen next. That's what we should be really focusing on and talking about. And that's what, we got to start. We got to put pressure on these players to want to go. I said it in the last video. They have to want to go. Rasmus Højlund has to want to go. I don't want Rasmus to do the honorable thing. I want to stay and fight for my place. Usually I want that. Right now, I don't. Go. Leave. I want that when our team is solid, functioning, winning, and you're on the bench, and we're winning, and you're thinking, like, I'm going to stay and fight for my place, and I'm going to show the manager that I'm better than the guy starting above me. I want it then. That's when I want it. I want that guy to work hard, because even if he doesn't make it, him working hard makes the starting number 9 work hard so he doesn't lose a spot to the other guy. Do you get what I'm saying? That's when I want it. I don't want it when you're the starting 9 and you suck. If you're the starting 9 and you're bad, leave. Please go and show the world you're good somewhere else. Don't show the world you're good at my club, because you had your chance at my club. Now, why am I talking like this? Because we need the money. If we didn't need the money, I wouldn't be this harsh. But we need the money. I need the guy to want to go. We need to raise the funds. That's why. So if you're going to sit here and go, Paul Scholes thinks he should stay and that he's young, yeah, I agree with all that too. But that's a great scenario if we don't need the money. We're in a different world. We're in a world where we need every single pound or euro we can make. I need him to want to go. That's where I'm coming from. Enemies always watching. Yeah, man, I can't believe people think we're on the same level. Guys, I want to say thank you. What's going on here? Gavin, maybe not. Guys, I do want to say thank you very much for being here with me. This is Wednesday morning. Maybe we'll do this more often. I can do it on Wednesday mornings like this, and I will try to do it, let's say, every 2 weeks. I don't want to promise every week. And then pretty soon, I'm also going to, I think it was Ben. I think Ben's here. Ben suggested in my comments once that, like, hey, why don't you start a Discord so that we can get together and talk, like logical and get a community started. I'm looking into that, starting my own Discord, so we'll have a Discord up soon. I just want to thank everybody for even making this possible. Like last year, I was getting 50 views a video, and we're up to like almost 4,500 subscribers now. Thank you so much. And that's all because of you guys, man. It's not me. I just sit and push record. It's you guys that hit the like button. It's you guys that share. It's you guys that tell people to come and watch and check me out. So thank you so much, man. And it's you guys that actually, I read your comments and it gives me ideas for the next episode, the next show. A lot of times when I'm like, oh man, I'm so angry about this or I'm angry about that, and then I'll read a comment that kind of changes my mind a little. Not really changes my mind, but lets me see it in a different perspective, and I start analyzing it a little bit deeper. Thank you so much, guys, but I do have to go. I got to take a shower and I got to go to work. I work just about every day except for Fridays. So I'll see you guys soon, though. Thank you so much for joining me for this live. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, look out for other stuff coming soon from me, like Discords, memberships, whatever. And again, hit the like button and let people know, man. Let people know about the channel who